I sensed something was wrong the moment I stepped into the cafe. It wasn't the bitter smell of burnt coffee or the low hum of the fluorescent lights above the mismatched tables. It was her laugh. Too loud, too deliberate, like she wanted someone to notice it. Then I saw her, my wife Melissa, sitting in a window booth with her friends. 4 of them, wine glasses in hand, leaning in too close, whispering behind their palms like high schoolers at lunch. Melissa spotted me instantly. Her expression didn't soften like it used to. Instead, she smirked, tilted her head, and said loud enough for the entire cafe to hear, "Actually, I was just telling the girls I'm done with this marriage." My chest tightened. I froze mid-step. Her friends laughed, sharp, brittle sound that ricocheted off the walls. It wasn't genuine amusement. It was performative, cruel, like I was missing a private joke. Melissa watched me, waiting, almost daring me to react. Maybe she expected me to beg, to argue, to fight for her in front of them. I didn't. I let the silence stretch, long enough for her friends to shift uncomfortably. Finally, I said, calm and steady, "Done. Enjoy your freedom." The laughter died. 4 pairs of eyes darted away. Melissa's smirk faltered. Her wine glass trembled in her hand. She hadn't anticipated that. I turned and walked out. The cold evening air hit like a slap, but it was better than staying in that suffocating booth of humiliation. My pulse thundered in my ears as I slid into the car, hands gripping the wheel, trying to steady my breathing. Melissa, my wife of 8 years, the woman I had built a life with, had turned our marriage into a spectacle for her friends. Who does that? I didn't drive home immediately. I parked in an empty lot by the river and sat in the dark, letting the weight of it all settle. My mind spiraled. Late nights, she claimed, were work, her phone never leaving her hand, the constant criticism that had replaced affection. All the red flags I'd ignored suddenly blazed in neon. She hadn't just drifted away. She had crossed a line. When I finally walked into our house, the silence was different. Not comforting, not familiar, just hollow. Her shoes weren't by the door. Her coat wasn't on the rack. She wasn't home. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the clock until the minutes blurred together. Midnight. Melissa stumbled in around 3 a.m., smelling of wine and perfume that wasn't hers. She didn't even seem surprised to see me awake. "Oh, for God's sake, you're still up?" she slurred, tossing her purse onto the counter. "Melissa," I said evenly. "Who is he?" Her mascara-streaked eyes flickered, just for a second, before she scoffed. "Don't start this paranoid crap again." It wasn't paranoia. I had seen the message weeks ago when her phone buzzed on the nightstand. "Can't wait to see you again. Last night was perfect." She had snatched the phone from me before I could see the sender, claiming it was a joke from a colleague. I had wanted to believe her. I really had. But the pieces fit too neatly. "You humiliated me tonight," I said, "in front of your friends. You wanted a show. Fine. Let's stop pretending." Her jaw clenched. She didn't deny it. "You make everything so suffocating, Daniel," she spat. I wanted to feel alive again, to feel wanted. I swallowed hard. "So you found someone else." Her silence screamed louder than any admission. The next week passed in icy exchanges and slammed doors. We moved like strangers, our words clipped, hollow. I began sleeping in the guest room, but I couldn't linger in limbo. Not anymore. I hired a lawyer, froze our joint account, gathered every document, mortgage papers, tax returns, bank statements, made copies quietly and methodically. If Melissa wanted freedom, she would have it, but not on her terms. 2 nights later, I got the final confirmation. Her phone buzzed on the counter while she showered. This time, I didn't hesitate. I opened it, thread after thread of messages, some too explicit to bear. Plans, hotel rooms, whispered confessions wishing I would just let go. I felt sick. My hands shook as I scrolled, every word a knife twisting deeper, but also a clarity I couldn't ignore. No more doubt. No more second chances. She had made her choice. The next morning, I didn't confront her. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I left the divorce papers on the kitchen table with a single note. "You wanted freedom? Here it is. Signed, sealed. Final. When she came downstairs, her face drained of color. You're serious? I met her eyes. Dead serious. She reached for the papers, hands trembling. Daniel, wait. We don't have to. Don't you dare. I cut in sharper than I ever had. You don't get to humiliate me, betray me, and then beg for mercy when it's convenient. You staged our breakup in a cafe full of strangers. You laughed with your friends while you ripped our marriage apart. This is the only dignity I have left. Her lips parted, but no words came. For the first time in months, her facade cracked. She wasn't the confident, sneering woman from the cafe. She was small, afraid, but it didn't matter anymore. I turned, walked out, and didn't look back. The following weeks were hard. Divorce never is. Her friends disappeared, suddenly too busy to call. Ethan vanished the moment things got messy, leaving her alone in the ruins she'd made. I poured myself into rebuilding. Therapy, long walks by the river, reconnected with old friends. Piece by piece, I felt human again. Months later, I passed that same cafe. The window booth was empty. No laughter, no stage drama, just silence. And for the first time since that night, I breathed. She had wanted freedom, and so had I. The difference was I found mine.